Relax for a moment.
Okay, more Sin and Punishment. Just point and shoot. Point and shoot. Just blah, 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 blah. In light of recent events, maybe that's not the right way to start this episode. Don't you just love it when Let's Players are overcautious about global events? There was a thing once, probably 10 years ago, where there was a channel, and they didn't want to do the final boss battle of Sonic Adventure 1, because it just so happened to be on the anniversary of 9/11, and it's like, I don't think there's really a correlation there. You don't want to show a giant water monster attacking a city because you're worried people are going to get offended about 9/11? What a completely loony thought process. Did Al-Qaeda attack New York City with a giant water monster? Is that what happened and people just didn't tell me? Totally loony. So anyway, this level is a classic video game trope, an elevator that slowly goes up. See that in beat-em-ups often. You see that in Turtles in Time and The Death and Return of Superman and others, I presume. So if I haven't already mentioned, this game was made by Treasure, by the way. One of the most esteemed developers in all of Japan. At least back then. Look out, he's got a jump rope, viewer. Did you ever have to do jump rope for hard in school? All school activities would stop for an hour or two and we'd all go jump rope, and somehow that would fund research for God knows what. Did you have to do that, or was it just my school that did that? Anyway, yeah, this game was made by Treasure, makers of Gunstar Heroes and WarioWare and CNN's Don Lemon Goes to the Zoo, and others, I assume. They haven't actually made any new games in quite some time. You can hit those missiles back, by the way. They really try to hammer in that mechanic of using your sword to knock the missiles back. Use your sword. But yeah, Treasure, the company, has really just fallen into a pit of sorts in the past 15 years. They don't got no contracts with Nintendo no more, and they're down to just 10 employees. In today's demanding business life cycle, what can you even make with 10 employees? Goodness me, video games are so complex these days, you practically need a small country to make stuff. With 10 employees, you're just gonna make something that looks like it was made in a garage, no matter how talented they may be. Okay, here's Jump Rope Man again. We know all of his tricks, and this should be much easier this time. One would hope. Okay, not too bad. Not to sound like a broken record, but this would all be a hell of a lot easier if it was possible to move the character and the cursor independently. I have a plan for how we're going to address that, but you might be waiting a while before that comes up. It's a surprise tool that will help us later. Anyway, switching topics, so all the way back in Hotel Mario Part 7, I mentioned my adventures in Art House Cinema and World Cinema Project Volume 5. That's right, there's continuity, viewer. You have to go back and rewatch the previous episodes to get caught up. It's like a good TV series. Anyway, back in Hotel Mario Part 7, I mentioned World Cinema Project Part 5 was coming out. And there was one particular film in that collection I wanted to see. I wanted to see Kumarty, and I finally got the chance to see that just last week. It's hard to describe. The feeling of just being so completely down the rabbit hole of obscurity, and the feeling of watching something that you know that absolutely no one you know in real life has ever seen before. This is well and truly bottom of the rabbit hole type stuff. Just 110% foreign to you and everybody you know. It's a very strange feeling. As for the movie itself, I tried my best to enjoy it, but it's just, culturally, I'm just so far removed from this type of stuff and everything that's going on that a lot of it just comes off as so completely bizarre to me. It's like, I don't know what to make of it. You can certainly say that you've never seen anything like this before, but is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? Just this odd pattern I've noticed with Indian films, from what little I've seen. Seems like just Indian directors have a very different concept of story structure than what we're used to in the West. There seems to be this pattern of films just kind of meandering, and there's a long stretch where the plot doesn't really move forward per se. It's definitely not doing any kind of 3-act structure. But anyway, getting back to the game, this boss is kind of annoying, huh? You might have noticed he really likes to jump on your hitboxes and just give you no place to go. He's like the close talker from that Seinfeld episode. So look at this. This just gives you no space whatsoever. I can't flip the cursor around either. I can't flip the cursor around. There it goes on its own. Ugh, unbelievable, Jerry. Yeah, these retro games don't mess around, do they? The time-honored tradition of using excessive difficulty to hide the fact that the game's only an hour long. Tale as old as time. Have you ever had the frustration of trying to show your favorite retro game to somebody who's not accustomed to that? And they just come back with completely dumbass takes about what it is. Look at this, I figured out the strat, viewer. I figured out the strat. Just use your sword. That's definitely the theme of the episode. But anyway, to my point about trying to introduce retro games to people who don't really know what to expect. Let's take Mega Man X, for example. Mega Man X would have been just so innovative at the time with its smooth movement and what have you, and compared to other SNES games, it would have felt so good. Anyway, I was trying to convince somebody to play Mega Man X once, and he finally did for like the first time in like 2017. Yeah, I know. And I was saying, so what'd you think? Pretty good, huh? And he was saying, it's not as good as Cuphead. It's like, my man, you are comparing it to something that came out 24 years later. 2.5 decades of game design and evolution and other improvements behind it. It's completely loony to compare these two things. It's just like, ugh. Some people. The boss appears to be throwing men at us for some reason. Certain people would No. Oh, good Lord. So, in other news, I noticed online today they released the trailer for the new Mario movie, the second one. And I was just thinking, if they're making movies out of Nintendo franchises, where's our Sin and Punishment movie, eh? That could bring in at least 10 to 12 people. You can get Haley Joel Osment as Saki, even though he's like 42 now, but maybe they could get like the kid from Stranger Things. There's lots of ways they could make that work. They've got a plot from the games they can copy. I don't know what the hell's going on in that plot, but it's something. It's incredible, really. We only skipped like the first opening cutscene, and that's all it took to just be completely lost as to where the... Oh my. It's Sonic 06, viewer. But yeah, somehow just skipping that one cutscene at the start just made absolutely everything that came after it confusing. It's like, seriously, what is going on here? Now it's Evangelion. It all returns to nothing. It just keeps tumbling down, tumbling down, tumbling down. I gotta actually watch Evangelion someday. I only saw the first couple episodes. I'm faintly aware of how it's all gonna go down, but yeah, someday. Anyway, we'll pick this up later.
Alta Vista, the world's most powerful search engine to find what you want on the internet.